Good morning to everybody. How you doing? Hope all's well. Keep up the beautiful work. Today is Wednesday, Parashat Vayeshev. We are continuing the holy words of the Pele Yoetz. We are in the letter Chet in the subject of Holeh. Hashem should give everyone good health. Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. We are in the Hebrew book on page 237, Resh Lamed Zayin. In the Hebrew English Art Scroll, volume 2, we are on page 195. Aval mitzvat bikur holim hi refuah. Unfortunately, out there, not everyone is as good as all of you. The mitzvah of visiting the sick isn't as good as it should be. At least that's what the rabbi is saying. In his time, it's possible that far away in Neverland, you had people, ve'im yesh ashir hash berosho. If there's someone who has money, he's a wealthy man, ve'eno yotze lashuk, and he doesn't come out to shul, to the market, etc. Tekef rabim nichnasim etzlo. Then you have everybody visiting him because of his status. Aval michale ish ani, if has v'shalom, someone who's poor got sick, and doresh ve'en mevakesh, people aren't really inquiring and asking leda shelomo ma yaseh bo, and what should we do with him? Shelefi godel mitzvah yetzer mitgaber al adam leman ya'abed tova harbe. The rabbi explains the mechanics behind the scenes, how that works. That's because the mitzvah of visiting someone who hazit doesn't have money, he's a little more broken, things aren't going his way, and now he's sick. So to visit him and to cheer him up is greater than to visit other people. It's a mitzvah always to visit someone, and no one should ever be sick. But the mitzvah is greater, so since the mitzvah is greater, the Yetzer Hara puts his ammunition more against the person, and that's why you don't have people really visiting the way it should be, as the rabbi mentioned. Ki milvad guf ha-mitzvah nimshach to'elet aher. Now, visiting somebody who's sick, not only is it making a mitzvah, and not only is it making a person feel better and being all, if they get their new spirits from the person visiting, it can help them. Laughter is the greatest healer. When a person goes to visit someone sick, it could be that there's accountability and they start to wake up a little in their own lives. We're not here forever. We should live and be well. And it makes a person have a little of a wake-up call. And it also makes a person appreciate what they have. Sometimes people, because of the world today, they walk around maybe complaining about this, complaining about that. How come this isn't going well? If they really realize what they really have, then they wouldn't complain. And when you see someone who's sick, Shema Yisrael, then it will make a wake-up call and say, thank you Hashem, I have this. Thank you Hashem, I have this. There was a rabbi who worked in a hospital in Eretz Yisrael, and it wasn't an easy task. He had to go around sometimes making vidui, going from this room to that room, and a rabbi of mine asked him, how do you stay sane? How could it be that what you're going through, what you see, you could still continue your life? And he says, every once in a while, I go into a different ward in the hospital, and I tell them his own name. They didn't know his name in the hospital. Not every ward and every nurse knew who he was. So he would say, is there an Asher Cohen here, for example? And the nurse would look and say, no. And he would go and say, thank you Hashem that he's not in the ward. And by realizing, thank you Hashem for his situation, it helped him be able to cope and go through life, right? U'mitzvah goreret mitzvah ki beroto tzarat ahiv ha'yisraeli tchako. When a person visits someone who's not feeling well from our people, yehemu me'av lo rahem yirahamenu, and he prays for him and he says, Hashem, please give mercy to him. V'naton yiten lo ki matanat yado ki berkat Hashem asher natan lo. And as mentioned, he's appreciative for what Hashem gave him. V'nimtza shu rodev tzedakah v'hesed, and by also going to cheer someone up and praying for him, you're doing true chesed. V'imtza hayim tzedakah v'chavod, and by doing that, you're doing many, many good things in one shot. U'ma tov u'ma na'im shitaknu b'nei ha'hevra kedusha le'otzi begoral shnayim mehem b'chol yom levaker et holeh hok v'lo ya'avor. So let's say there's someone who really needs taking care of. Also reminds me of a story, alav shalom, of Rav Aaron Cutler. His yahrzeit wasn't too long ago. I was lucky to be by his kever about a week ago on Hara Menuchot, when Be'ezrat Hashem will see them all with the Tahiyat HaMetim. But Rav Aaron Cutler, one day, a bunch of years ago, there was a Holocaust survivor, an older man who had no family, no nothing, and and he would live in the yeshiva and stay in the yeshiva, and everyone would try to do what they can. One day it was Yom Kippur, and the rabbi calls over a student right before Ne'ilah, and he says, could you do me a favor? Go into that person's room and pray Ne'ilah in there. Imagine someone who's working on themselves the whole Yom Kippur to get to a level of greatness, and it's Ne'ilah, and you're ready to stand in the Kodesh HaKodashim, you're ready to stand in front of Borei Olam, and over here you have the rabbi is telling him to go into the room, pray Ne'ilah without a minyan, not in the yeshiva. So he says, how come, Rebbe? I want to pray with the minyan, I want to pray with the yeshiva. He says, but Hashem chose you to be the one to go there. That means your obligation right now is to be in that room with that person at that moment. And look at the greatness of the Rosh Yeshiva, that he's worried about someone who's in a room all by himself, maybe not feeling well, etc. So we see a lot from that story. Number one, as mentioned, you see the great, who am I to even say, look at the greatness of Rav Aaron Cutler, we should touch the dirt that he even walked on. But also, like we said, it's important to go visiting people and taking turns, and if somebody's turn and they have to do something at that moment, but that's the moment that they have to go visit or do their mitzvah, then you have to realize Hashem wants you there at that moment. So if there's someone that does need tending to, the rabbi says, take a group of people from the synagogue and make a goral, a lottery, who goes when and who goes at this moment. And if you make a whole assembly line of when should they visit and go visit the person, then that will be helping the person a lot. Not only that, the rabbi says, if somebody doesn't go at the time that was allotted for them, then they should get fined, believe it or not. And by doing that, they will be helping the community, and there's nothing greater than being mizakeh the Rabbim. Bezat Hashem, as mentioned, everyone should always feel perfect. We should only see good things, happiness for everyone. Thank goodness in our community where we are, everybody's always doing what they're supposed to. You have visiting 24/7. We should never be in the emergency room. But on Friday night, when you're in the emergency room, you have people, tzaddikim and tzidkaniyot, going around with bags of chali, grape juice. They could be home, sitting in their chair. It's freezing ice cold outside, worrying about their own Friday night, but instead they want to help Am Yisrael. And with that being said, Hashem says, Mi Kamcha Yisrael, look at my people, look how great they are. And Baruch Hashem, by doing all these beautiful hasadim, Hashem will bring the Mashiach, and we'll all be dancing in Yerushalayim. Hallelujah. Have the greatest day. Good things always. Take care. Bye.